All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're up here at Franklin Toyota, the amazing Franklin Toyota. I love these guys up here. I love all the Franklin dealerships here and the Chevy one across the street. Today is rainy. We are getting ready to head out hunting, but we are going to stop, make a couple videos, and we're going to talk about the least off-road worthy off-road trim in a full-size truck. So when it comes to full-size trucks, Chevy, Ram, Ford, and Toyota all offer off-road versions of their amazing 1500 F-150 series trucks. However, Toyota, this one right here, which Toyota has got a renowned reputation for, for off-road worthiness, especially in the Tacoma, in the amazing 4Runner, the Land Cruiser. Okay, many Toyota vehicles have been considered off-road superstars for a long, long time. However, the Tundra, the new version of the Tundra, and even the old version of the Tundra, it has dropped the ball when it comes to the off-road world. This right here is what classifies as Toyota's ultimate off-road trim right here. Now, they do also have the TRD Pro. I don't have a TRD Pro, but the TRD Pro is nothing to write home about either. But here it is, the everyday man version of a TRD off-road trim. The TRD off-road trim in Toyota means you get the off-road goodies like a true rear locker, and you get the MTS and crawl control and all the electronic stuff that comes with it. That's where this starts, is at the TRD off-road model. Same applies to the Tacoma in a TRD off-road model. Now, so this is their base model, entry level, low as it gets, true off-road version. The only version of a Tundra that can get a rear locker. Okay, the only version of a Tundra that gets the MTS and all that kind of stuff in it. This is where it begins, and it is based on a SR5. You can get the TRD off-road trim in different levels, but this is based on an SR5. We are coming in at a price of $60,000. We are not a hybrid, does not say hybrid on there like it would, but we are $60,000 for this base model off-road truck. Look at the tires we get on here. Those are your off-road tires. Now, you do get some good Bilstein shocks, but those are your off-road tires. Got good looking wheels, okay, can't complain about the wheels. 0 recovery points on the back. Many trucks do not, however, the Tacoma does. You can get it with the Tacoma. We don't have those back there. We got these Predator steps, which are not very off-road worthy. They get broke up and beat up all the time because they hang down so low. And this truck doesn't need steps anyway. Look at how low this truck is. Why do we need steps on this truck? I'm only 5 foot, I'm only 5'6". Why do we need those on there on an off-road trim? But again, the tires. Now also notice, we have no recovery points on the front still, even after all this time of us bugging Toyota about putting them there. Look at how big that approach angle is, how bad that approach angle is from here to here. Okay, same thing on this one. How bad that approach angle is from here before you're gonna bust this off. I put it to you this way, just in what I've done in the last 2 days on one of the WMAs in my Power Wagon, I'd have ripped the whole front clip off. Not only would it have been stuck a dozen times, I would have ripped the whole entire front end and the whole rear end completely off this truck, just from ground clearance issues alone going into these hog wallows, where these hogs wallow out the trails, and they put a 4 foot deep hole in there where they wash it out like a wash tub and roll around in the mud, and you drop in and come out of those. I'd have ripped this truck to pieces already, just alone in there. But like I said, so you're limited there. You don't have a lot of features. You don't have a good breakover angle. You don't have a good departure angle. You don't have any good off-road angles to this truck at all. And you have horrible off-road tires. You have no recovery points anywhere on the truck other than your trailer hitch. Okay, there's not a recovery point on the truck any place there is. You see what I'm getting at here. You do get a rear locker. However, the rear locker for all Toyotas, you can only use that rear locker once you are in 4 low. You cannot use it in 4 high. It is the only one of Chevy, Ford, it's the only full-size truck available today with a rear locker that will not let you use it in 4 high. Okay, most of them will even let you use it in 2 high, but it will not even let you use it in 4 high or 2-wheel drive. You have to go into 4 low. The engagement to get this vehicle, to get the locker set up and in, is very, very finicky, same as a Toyota is. You have to be on flat ground, you cannot be articulated, you have to rock back and forth a dozen times. It is a nightmare. So the 4-wheel drive system is a problem. The four-wheel drive system in this, however, I will say is very, very good. Toyota does a very tight system when it comes to the computer-controlled torque transfer from wheel to wheel. It does a very good job. It is very tight. It is almost as good as Ram. Okay, Ram beats it. Ram is phenomenal with that stuff. Ram and Jeep, they're the best in there. Ford by far being the worst. And as far as that stuff goes with the computer-controlled algorithmically transfer. Toyota does a excellent job at that. However, it is a pain in the butt to deal with. And everything is mechanical or electronic with this when it comes there. There's no mechanical features in it like other trucks have. You have the mechanical rear locker, but again, trying to get to it is a nightmare to use it. You have to be in 4-low to do it. The MTS is, you know, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. And the crawl control in a real world situation is something you pretty much are never ever going to turn on or use, in my opinion. Maybe you guys up there climbing up rocky hills and stuff out west, maybe it's different, but for most of us in the real world and obstacles, it's not really that valuable. So again, this is a great truck. But now also, Ford, Chevy, and Ram all offer equivalent packaged, actually, let me say that better equipped, more functional packages for way less money in a full-size truck. So that's what we're getting at. Now, I'm not taking anything away from this because it is a great truck. Okay, there's a lot of people that own and love the Tundras, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I am, however, saying when you compare off-road trucks in a full-size realm between the four big manufacturers, putting Chevy and GMC together, but you got Chevy, Ford, and you got Ram, and you got Toyota. 4 full-size truck ones. When it comes to off-road, in a full-size world, Toyota is definitely at rock bottom. No offense to them. Now, their Tacoma fares pretty well. Not bad. But this, the Tundra world, they've basically left us and forgot about us in the off-road world. Yet they offer a TRD off-road, which is a joke of a package, in my opinion. And then they offer the TRD Pro, which is an even bigger joke of a package. Somebody asked me the other day, what would I take in a Tundra? Would I take a TRD Pro or would I get the $1,794? So I'd take the $1,794. They're both priced pretty similar, and I'd take the $1,794 all day long because it actually has packages with value in it, where the TRD Pro, it's got some neat features, but it doesn't really still compare to anything in an off-road world. There's not many people that know about doing anything off-road that are going to buy this unless they buy it with the intention of turning around and putting $10,000 more into it, which includes bumpers on the front, bumpers on the rear, a lift, new wheels, new tires, the whole thing done upright in order to make it kind of off-road worthy. It just doesn't have the punch that everything does today. And now their last Tundra was no different. Everybody thinks, don't get me wrong, the last Tundra, 21 Tundra, is an amazing vehicle. However, even a TRD off-road in that truck and even a TRD Pro, there was no such thing as a rear locker even in the Tundra until 2022 when this came out. That's how behind the times Toyota is. No rear locker in them even until 2022. GM's been putting G80 rear lockers in there since like 79 or 80. They've been putting them in their GM trucks. Okay, so like, and Ford's been offering a rear locker in an FX4, even in the sport packages, plus, you know, all that stuff for so long. Like I said, Toyota very late to the game, and the Tundra is definitely one it is lacking in the off-road world. Great truck. Not my first choice, second choice, third choice. It's actually my 4th choice out of 4. In a full-size off-road truck, hands down. And Toyota could fix that very easily. They really could. I mean, if they wanted their trucks to be considered off-road trucks and they wanted to listen to people, put tow hooks on the front, give us some better improvements on these on this approach angle, the departure angle a little bit, give us the same recovery hooks that we can get on the back of a Tacoma, which of course, it's way down there. But if you look at that one, they're way down there. You see those red hooks on the back of one of them down there? Right down there. See those red hooks on the back of that one in the middle of the screen? If they would give us something like that on the Tundra, and they would give us tow hooks on the front, fix the approach angle, and put some real off-road tires on it, and give us a little punch to it and then unlock the nannies of the four-wheel drive system, they could sell a ton of these and do a really good job. They will not, but look at, they're, you know, here you go, right here. Here's a SR5 or XP package, SR5. This is coming in, but here you got some Nitto Ridge grapplers on here. They're charging you for this, okay? This is part of a XP package. It's including this. You got to pay $5,000 for it, or they charge you $1,600 for the port to put these tires on. But why are these not coming standard on a TRD off-road? Look at how good they look. Look at how much better this standard SR5 non-TRD off-road. There is no rear locker. There is no MTS, no crawl control. There's no nothing in this one. Look at how much better it looks. Why would they not do something like that with the TRD off-road and give it the stuff we talked about? Blows my mind. But in Toyota, you know, you make your bed, you lay in it. And no offense, Toyota, but your off-road truck in a full-size world, it sucks. It straight up sucks. It's just not there. You failed miserably. Do something about it and impress us. Questions, comments, put it below. Thanks for watching.